It's day 6 of Grotmas, and Games Workshop has just dropped a Necron detachment about mounted and vehicle units that zip around the battlefield. Welcome to the Grotmas Detachment Show, where each and every day from December 1st to the 24th, Games Workshop releases a new detachment for every army in Warhammer 40k. It's an exciting time, and there's a lot to talk about. So let's break it down for you and give you an easy to understand first look at these detachments. Happy Grotmas, everybody! Welcome to the Star Shatter Arsenal. Let's start off taking a look at the detachment rule, which is Relentless Onslaught. This is going to grant Necron units +1 to hit when targeting a unit on an objective. Pretty good already. Good start that affects all Necron units. Next up, range weapons on non-Titanic vehicles and mounted units gain the Assault keyword. This is a very powerful ability that we've seen in a number of top detachments such as the Bringers of Flame, and it's really going to give mobility to these very shooty units like Doomsday Arcs. We have, as always, 4 enhancements to take a look at, starting off with Dread Majesty. This is a 30-point enhancement that you can put on an Overlord or Catacomb command barge, and what this does is non-Titanic units within 6 inches reroll hit and wound rolls of 1. Pretty sweet. Next up we have Miniaturized Nebula Scope, great name, a 15-point enhancement that allows the Bears unit to ignore cover. Demanding Leader is a 10-point enhancement that allows you to, in your movement phase, select a non-Titanic vehicle or mounted unit within 6 inches, and that unit can now fall back and shoot. It's a nice cheap enhancement that allows your units to not get tagged and still continue to get shooting at the targets they want to. Finally, we have Chrono Impedance Field. It's a 25-point enhancement that allows you to, in your command phase, select one non-Titanic vehicle or mounted unit within 6 inches, and that will gain -1 damage until your next command phase. A fantastic upgrade for those already durable big vehicles such as, again, Doomsday Arcs. Honestly, I like all 4 of these enhancements. I think perhaps the Fall Back and Shoot is the one that I might give up, although Miniaturized Nebula Scope is a bit more specific. You're only really going to run that if you have a decently sized unit of Warriors or Immortals. Moving along to the stratagems, let's take a look at Merciless Reclamation. 1 command point allows you to select 1 non-Titanic unit and give them +1 to wound against units on objectives. Very, very spicy. +1 to wound is always a very sought after ability. Unyielding Forms is a 1 CP stratagem in which you can select a non-Titanic vehicle or mounted unit and give them -1 to be wounded if the attacker's strength is higher than their toughness. Again, more durability, more output for a singular vehicle or mounted unit. Chrono Shift 1 CP allows you to auto-advance 6 inches for 1 non-Titanic vehicle or, you guessed it, mounted unit. Again, fast and flexible and combos well with the fact that you have Assault. Dimensional Tunnel, another 1 CP stratagem in which a non-Titanic vehicle or mounted unit may move through terrain in the movement phase. Even with Prevalent Fly, getting around different ruins is kind of a pain for these big, bulky units, and so being able to move straight through them will really help with that flexibility and getting those angles with your assault weapons. Endless Servitude is a 1 CP stratagem at the end of your fight phase in which you are allowed to activate your reanimation protocols for 1 non-Titanic unit on an objective that you control. A bit situational, of course, but you can really push those thresholds depending on how many OC or attacks you need on an objective. Reactive Reposition is the final stratagem. It costs 1 CP and is absolutely hilarious. You can select 1 non-Titanic unit that was just shot at, and they can make a D6-inch move or a flat 6-inch move if they're a vehicle or mounted unit. I really like the strat because it's incredibly flexible, allows you to get in position for your turn, but also hilariously allows you to poke out, shoot something, and unless your opponent can kill it in a single activation, you can just tuck back in behind terrain after they do their first activation. This is a pretty interesting Necrons detachment. I think you always have to be thinking about the things that you lose when you're not taking the other detachments, and in this case, we're getting a number of very focused abilities around non-Titanic vehicles and mounted units. +1 to hit, Assault, extra durability, -1 damage, reactive moves, all these things are abilities that you look for in a powerful detachment. So honestly, I think this one is a big thumbs up for Necron players, especially if you're looking to run some of those sweet vehicles that are not giant monoliths. Of course, I'm very curious to hear what you all think about this detachment, and let me know what you're looking forward to for tomorrow.